There's a trap I see business owners fall into all the time, and usually it's new business owners, but not always. I know people who've been in business for 10 years who still make this mistake, and I think I could call the mistake chasing money. So let me give you an example. Existing business, been around for a while, very successful. They want to get into a new thing. They want to do a whole new product line. And so they create this product line and they go to work trying to sell it. And the primary goal is to make some money. And so they charge people a lot of money for this new product line. But since they're new at it, there's some mistakes, there's some bugs to work out. And since these customers paid a high price to get this new product and it isn't perfect, their expectations are up here, but like what they get is down here. And so that business or that person might make some money in the short run, but nobody is going to want to rebuy that and nobody's going to say good things about it. So you're going to end up making some money one time and that's pretty much where it'll stop until you go through all the work of trying to sell it to a new group of people. Usually you're selling this to a group of people you already know. So that's the lowest hanging fruit. And I would argue that a lot of times it would be better to forego the making of money in the beginning and focus 100% on optimizing the customer experience, like giving them the best product possible, setting their expectations down here, and then blowing them away with a product that's way up here. And what will happen in that same situation is you have that initial group of customers, they come in, they have low expectations because they didn't pay much for it. If anything, they find that it's really good and that you're really going out of your way to make sure that they have a great experience. And now they go off into the world and they tell everyone they know about it. You wouldn't believe what I did last weekend. This was the coolest thing ever. Or you wouldn't believe this thing that I got. Like, it works so good. You have to check it out. That's what you really want. If you can create a situation where that initial group of customers is either buying more or they're so happy that they end up paying you anyway, or they're so happy that they go and tell the whole world about you and leave you a good review and all of that, I would argue that's a much better situation. And so I'm going to play a clip from a recent podcast I did with Michael LaFisca. He's the owner of Bear Door Services, and he tells the story of how when he started his business, he was just doing stuff for free for his friends and family. And he went all out to do a good job. And he says a lot of times people ended up paying him anyway. But more importantly, they left him good reviews on Google. They referred him to other people. And they created a base for him to start building a solid business on. Not only that, it gave him time to practice his craft in a low stress environment and allow him to perfect what he was doing for his customers before he went out and charged a bunch of money for it. So by foregoing the money in the beginning, he was able to make a lot more in the long run. And I think we could all learn a lot from Michael's story. So check it out.
Yeah. Coming up in August, it'll be a year.
Okay. So like 11 months or so.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have like a background in garage doors before?
So I did, not professionally, but on the side. So I was in the oil field for 15 years, 80 to 100 hours a week. I was an electromechanical technician for most of it. I got my electromechanical degree from George Brown College while I was working in the oil field. It's not a great lifestyle. Now, for money, it's great. You make a lot of money in the oil field. Now, what you're doing is you're trading all of your time for that money. You're trading 100 hours a week for $150,000 a year, which if you're a young man, if you're 18 to 25 years old and you're trying to get a good start, I would recommend it to anybody. You just go in and but I would have an exit plan, go in for 2 years, 3 years, bank 300 grand and then get out and then use that money to do what you want to do. I worked with a lot of lifers and I was a lifer, and it beats the hell out of your body. And I wasn't even doing the most physical part most of the time. what, like 6 years ago, the garage door broke on my house, and the guy came and he wanted to put something on that I thought was very simple at the time, and I think it was almost $700 to fix. And I'm just like, no way. I was one of those people. I'm like, this is a $300,000 house back in 2000 and however, whatever, 6 years ago. It was worth a lot of, like we lived in an upscale neighborhood. I shouldn't be cheaping out on my house, but I was. He's just like, hey, it's gonna be $700 to fix it. I'm like, get out, no way, I'll fix it myself. Blah blah. And I did fix it myself after spending probably more money than I would, just paying him to fix it. So after that, I was like, you know what, I could get into this, and I had kicked the idea around for a while, and then finally last year I went and got my professional certification, went to garage door school at Mount on-site training, took an online level 6 course, and started fixing people's stuff for free at the beginning, just asking my friends and family, trying to get those reviews that I was talking about, and kind of went from there.
How long did you do free stuff? Like, how many reviews did you get from doing free things before you started charging?
Probably like 10, I think. And the thing with the free stuff is you tell them it's free, but they always kind of want to pay you something. Like if they're genuinely good people, sometimes they'll throw you 50, 100, $200, or if you say, hey, I'll fix it for you for the cost of the parts. And then you show them the receipt, say, hey, this is how much the parts cost. If you just want to cover the parts, I'll call the review the payment for it. You know what I mean? Like, so you're not losing any money. You're not losing any money on parts. Now you're losing some time, but I mean, it's like going to school. You're learning for free, basically. They bought the parts, you do the stuff. Now I was fortunate enough to have my own garage door in my own house. So I took that thing apart 100 times and put it back together 100 times to, get proficient. But I deeply cared about every process. So, if how to measure the springs, how to cut the springs, how to measure the cables. I did a deep dive on every single thing. And then after I did the deep dives, how can I make this better? Are there tools that exist to make this easier? Is the investment on the tool worth it? Is the time investment worth it? I went down that. I had categories of things to go down. So, but yeah, in the beginning, the free, I probably did 10 to 15, got 10 to 15 reviews doing free or almost free stuff or budget things. And I'm glad I did. It was worth it 10 times over. So
was that before last August? Like, I'm trying to get the timeline together.
Yeah. So for the reviews, yes. So when I started in August to get the 10 to 15 reviews, I can't remember how many, I did free things and discount things, guys that I worked with, I'm like, hey man, you need anything for your garage? They're like, yeah, actually the spring is broke or it needs a new opener. I was like, hey, if you just pay for the parts, I'll do it for free. I did that starting in August. But before that, I had done a couple different things for people that I knew because they knew that I would dabbled in garage doors, but I didn't have a GMB. I didn't plan on starting a business anytime soon. I had thought about it, but it was never really serious. So yeah, I'd worked off and on for almost 6 years just on garage doors, but then I got serious a year ago.